Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a delicious, juicy, flavorful seafood bowl. If you want to learn how to make it, keep watching. Here I have 3 boxes of 2-pound snow crabs. We're going to start off by slicing our sausages, and this is the sausage that I'm going to be using. You can use whatever sausage you like, but I'm just going to remove them, and I'm going to begin slicing my sausage just like this. Once I'm done cutting my sausage, I'm going to place it inside of my bowl and cut the remaining sausage. Once I slice all of my sausage, I'm going to set them in a bowl and set them to the side. Now I'm going to work on my corn, and I'm going to be using fresh corn. Do not use frozen corn for your seafood bowl. You always want to use fresh ingredients. So once I shook my corn, I'm going to place it in my colander and I'm going to give it a good rinse. Once I've rinsed my corn really good, I'm going to chop my corn into 4 pieces and place them inside of my bowl. I'm going to set my corn aside and rinse off my red baby potatoes. I'm going to place my potatoes inside of my colander and give them a nice rinse. Once I give my potatoes a good rinse, I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to thaw out my 2-pound bag of shrimp that's already deveined and clean. Now I'm going to chop up my garlic just like this, and you want to mince your garlic, and this is going to be for our butter sauce. Now I'm going to slice my onions, which is also going to be for the butter sauce. Once we've done that, I'm going to boil some eggs. Now that we have our eggs boiling, it is time to season the water for the seafood. I added in some chicken bouillon, black pepper, onion powder, Old Bay seasoning, paprika. I also added in 2 tablespoons of seafood boil liquid. I'm going to give it a good mix, and I'm going to add in my lemon pepper seasoning along with my Creole seasoning, or you can use Cajun seasoning. I'm going to give that a good mix. I'm going to add in half a head of garlic, 1 medium onion, and 1 whole lemon. And you want to make sure you squeeze your lemon juice out of the lemon. And later on throughout the process, we're going to remove it so that the lemon flavor doesn't make the broth really strong. Once I've added everything, I'm going to place the top over and let this boil for about 4 to 5 minutes so that the flavors can come together. I'm going to remove the top, and I'm going to add in my baby potatoes along with my corn. And like always, the measurements and the ingredients will be listed in the description box below. Once we add all of our corn, I place the top over and I let it boil for about 15 minutes. And you want to poke a fork or a toothpick into your potatoes to make sure that they're done. You do not want to have mushy potatoes. But once my potatoes were done, I placed them inside of my bowl and I started working on my butter sauce. I'm going to place 3 sticks of salted butter into my pot, and I'm going to let that melt down a little bit before adding in my onions. Once the butter melted more, I added in my onions, And I also added in my garlic that we minced earlier. And I'm just going to give this a good mix and let the onions and garlic saute for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's nice and soft. And it should look just like this. Now we're going to go in with our seasonings, which are paprika, black pepper, onion powder, Cajun seasoning or Creole seasoning, lemon pepper, brown sugar, and cayenne pepper. I mixed my seasonings really well into my butter mixture, and next I'm going to go in with some of the broth from the potatoes, and I'm going to give that a good mix. And this is how your butter sauce should look. I'm also going to squeeze in half of a lime or a lemon and also give that a really good mix. And at this point your butter sauce is done, so I'm going to set it to the side and work on my crabs. Here I have my snow crabs. I like to get my snow crabs from Kroger's, but Sam's and Costco also has snow crabs. Once our water is up to a boil, I'm going to place in all of my snow crabs. And I'm going to make sure the water is covering the crabs, and I'm going to place over the top. And these crabs are already cooked, they're just frozen. So I cooked my crabs for about 5 to 6 minutes. You don't want to overcook your crabs, then your crab meat will be tough. I'm just going to transfer all of my crabs into my large bowl. Now that I removed all of my crabs from the bowl, I'm going to add in my shrimp. And the shrimp only cooks for about 2 to 3 minutes, depending on the size of the shrimp. These are small shrimps, so they cook faster. And when your shrimp turns pink, that's how you know your shrimp is done. But I'm just going to remove my shrimp and add it with the crabs. Once I remove all of my shrimp, it is time to plate. Now I'm just going to place my crabs on a platter, and I'm going to add everything, the potatoes, sausage, and the corn. I'm just going to pour over our delicious flavorful butter sauce. And you also have to have your lemon on the side because it was a seafood bowl without the lemon. That brings out more of the flavor in your seafood bowl. I hope you guys try this recipe. If you do, make sure you tag me. This seafood bowl came out super delicious. Subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.